I think if you're going to do a mysterious voice at the other end of the call type genre, um, you better keep the mysterious voice a mystery. But when you're Taron Egerton and you are as muscular and as defined as he is, I found it very sort of hard to believe. And the fact that they were trying to compare this with Die Hard is truly an insult to Die Hard itself. The only shared thing they have with Die Hard is the fact it's set during Christmas, but I think this was very much like a missed opportunity. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Tom Marshall Media Podcast. Today we are going to look at Netflix's Carry On, starring Taron Egerton. Let's get into it. The film is directed by Joan Colette Serra, who made that terrible Black Adam film with Dwayne Johnson. Don't go and see it, it's awful. He's also worked closely with Liam Neeson. A couple of films I actually quite liked, one I haven't seen, but Non-Stop, Unknown, and The Commuter. It's done a couple of good films there, aside from Black Adam. It's starring Taron Egerton, Jason Bateman, Sophia Carson, and Danielle Deadwater. And Taron Egerton, Jason Bateman, I've heard of. A few other people I'm not too sure of, but their performance in this were all right. Yeah, they're okay. Again, with this film, the budget is yet to be released. No one entirely knows exactly what the budget is, but I reckon it's probably around 45, maybe $50 million. Definitely not hundreds of millions of dollars. There are certain parts of the film where you think to yourself, they probably could have done a better job with or spent a little bit more money on. But that's what I reckon it is. Definitely a 50 million budget, sort of the mid-range budget. So yeah. So the film is about TSA agent Ethan Kopak, that is Taron Egerton's character, working Christmas Eve in LAX for the TSA on one of the busiest days of the year. Until now, basically just been coasting through life, not really sort of making any major waves or not doing enough to cause or raise any eyebrows. But on this day, him and his girlfriend have a sort of heart to heart, trying to figure out what to do in life, as he is very much, like I said, been coasting, not really sort of doing anything drastic. Talk about his aspirations and what to do next. And then he basically decides to change his ways after this conversation and take on more responsibility in his career, and to prove to his boss, Phil Sarkowski, Dean Norris, aka Hank Schrader, the dude from Breaking Bad. Uh, he has one saving grace, that on this particular day, the busiest day of the year, Christmas Eve, his girlfriend Nora, played by Sophia Carson, is also working on the same shift, same airport. And after talking to his bosses on this day, they decide to give him a chance and send him working on the security scanners, that bit where you queue up to scan your baggage and all that sort of stuff. So he's working those scanners. This is where he encounters a passenger who hands him an earwig, basically saying, "Oh, this isn't hers. This isn't her carry-on luggage," and hands him this earpiece, passes it to him, and suddenly is greeted by a mysterious voice at the other end of the line. On the other end, a mysterious voice of a man who calls himself the Traveller. This is Jason Bateman's character, who is a terrorist for hire. His goal is to make sure that this terrorist plot that has been planned to take out one of the aeroplanes, which has a VIP passenger that mustn't get to her destination, and asks Ethan not to draw any attention to the call and his uh, identity to the authorities, the situation that he finds himself in. Jason Bateman's character is basically responsible for making sure all this happens on time, on schedule, and without any hiccups or any sort of interference by law enforcement. And he says a lot of the times in the film, his job is insurance, to ensure that this goes smoothly and without any incidents. Using his girlfriend as leverage to make him compliant and to do as he says, basically says that he's got a sniper pointed to his girlfriend, and if he doesn't do what he asks, he's going to kill her. He tells him of a mysterious package to allow through the scanners unscathed without incident. After that, it becomes a sort of cat and mouse chase to see who can outsmart the other before disaster strikes. I think if you're going to do a mysterious voice at the other end of the call type genre, you better keep the mysterious voice a mystery. That's what a particular film that came out in the early 2000s did really well, a film called Phone Booth, a similar film of this type, starring Colin Farrell and Kiefer Sutherland. The film literally focuses entirely on Colin Farrell's character in the phone booth and giving you a sense of feeling trapped and nowhere to go. Also, what they do when they do finally reveal the identity of the villain, he is blurred as Colin Farrell's character is hopped up on painkillers, and his vision is blurred and impaired from the trauma and the main encounter he's had with this sniper. And he's so drugged up to the eyeballs, he's never going to remember it anyway. Small sort of realistic details such as this really work well in the film Phone Booth, which you never really saw much of in the film Carry On. It was pretty much 5 minutes into the film the details of the villain were revealed, his identity, everything. With some slight tweaks and some slight changes to this, would have made it a bit more mysterious and a bit more of an impact. It would have made a bit more intriguing as to who the character is as well. Keep you guessing along the way, but they chose to go in a different direction. I feel that they should have focused on one location, the scanners, where Taron Egerton worked as a TSA agent, because then that way it would give you again that sense of confinement, that sense of feeling trapped. Also, they were trying to make out that the protagonist is your sort of average Joe kind of guy, but when you're Taron Egerton and you are as muscular and as defined as he is, I found it very sort of hard to believe this aspect of the character as like an average Joe. It just didn't ring true to me at all. All in all, though, I feel like this was a missed opportunity to really make something great. And the fact that they were trying to compare this with Die Hard is truly an insult to Die Hard itself. The only shared thing they have with Die Hard is the fact that it's set during Christmas, Christmas Eve. That's about it. There were some good moments in the film which I'd like to see more of. For instance, Taron Egerton's character listens to the background noise going on in the earwig to try and find out where the main villain is located around the airport, which is kind of cool. He's eating crisps at one point, and you can sort of hear the crunch through the earpiece, which is kind of clever. And somebody breaks a glass, and you could hear all that going on in the background, which I thought was actually quite clever, but I would like to have seen more of. Either way, what it does have going for it is it's an easy watch. It's on Netflix, so you can watch it on with the comfort of your own home. You can pause, you can go for a shit as many times as you want without getting in anybody's way. So, it's got a few things going for it, but I think this was very much like a missed opportunity for them to really sort of keep it more of an intimate piece rather than expanding it to more of the airport, keep it isolated to one sort of location, which would have made for a more sort of compelling watch, and sort of keep the intensity up as well. But they chose to go a different way. I mean, I'm not a filmmaker, so I have no idea. I have no skin in the game, so it's just my opinion, really. If you had a different take on the story, or if you had the similar sort of experience as I did, as always, make a comment in the comments and get the conversation started on the whole piece. Have something to talk about this film. Always like to find some positive aspect about it. But otherwise, if not, like and subscribe to this channel, and I shall see you in the next video.